When it comes to who aren't the media, a few big companies like Schibsted own many of the major newspapers, such as Aftenposten and VG. But there are also other big players in the market, like the Amedia Group and a lot of smaller local papers. This helps make sure that many different viewpoints are shared and no one group has too much power over the news. This competition is good because it encourages many different perspectives and keeps the media accountable. People in Norway use all sorts of media to get their attention, from TV and radio to online news. NRK is a really important part of this, offering several TV channels, many radio stations, but a popular streaming service called NRK TV. Alongside it are private companies like the TV2 Group, which focus is more on entertainment and commercial television. Almost every time in Norway uses the internet, they are more likely than people in most other countries to pay for online news. This shows they really value good journalism and are willing to support it financially. They even have some unique TV traditions, like watching special broadcasts together, which show how much the media is part of their culture. For example, it's a common habit for families together and watch the night, making a serious experience. Norway is known for having the most free press in the world, and is a huge part of what makes their democracy so strong. This means that people living there can get their news from many different places without the government telling them what to think or controlling the information. They have a system that keeps the news fair and trustworthy, which is really important for a country to function well. In some other places where the government might control the news, Norway's system is built on a long history of protecting free speech. This allows newspaper, TV stations, and online news websites to share different opinions without being shut down or censored. Because of this, Norwegians have learned to trust their media, which is a big deal when everyone is trying to figure out what's true. This trust didn't just happen overnight. It was built over many years by making sure no single person or company could own all the news outlets. The country also supports local newspapers so that even small towns have a voice and can share news that matters to their community. All of this shows how seriously Norway takes the idea that everyone has the right to know what's going on. On this strong foundation is why their media is often seen as a model for other countries. The government's main job isn't to control the news, but to make sure it stays independent. They have a special agency, the Norwegian Media Authority. They make sure no single company owns too many news outlets. This helps keep a lot of different opinions available to the public. The government also gives some money to local newspapers to help them survive, especially in smaller towns. But it's set up so they can't control what the papers write. This means the newspaper can report the news without political pressure. Plus, Norway's public broadcaster and NRK is paid by a special license fee that everyone with a TV or computer has to pay. This means NRK doesn't need to rely on ads or government funding, so we can focus on making high-quality, unbiased news and programs. What really makes Norway stand out is how much people trust and use it. Over half of Norwegians say they trust and use it overall. And this trust is especially high for public broadcasters like NRK and their local newspaper. This trust comes from a long history of free press, with some newspapers like Adresseavisen having been around since the 1700s, but it's not perfect like everywhere. No winning media faces money problems and has to compete for younger viewers who get their news from places like YouTube, TikTok, or Netflix. There's also some debate about the Weather Channel has a political bias, with some people feeling the news leans too far left. Challenges show that even the best systems have to keep changing and adapting to stay strong and relevant. Overall, Norway's meeting is a great example of how a free and fair news system can work when it's supported by good laws, a diverse ownership, and most importantly, the trust of the public.